Hello, folks. This is Dr. Ted Kaufman with Dr. Ted Talks. We're coming to you live and direct from the Crystal Star Ranch on the western slope of the Rocky Mountains. Today, we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to be dealing with humor today, but before we do that, I had an inspiration to rewrite one of my poetry selections from a previous set, and I want to share that with you today because I just love it. It's called Out of the Soul of Music. I am called music. I exist in the alpha and omega of time. Hear me in the wind, the pines, the waves, the coo of a newborn baby, and the sound of silence as a white, lonely cloud traverses the sky. When mankind arrived, I quickly stepped up to be the medium of emotions, the inspiration of thought. I have contributed regularly to the fulfillment of the discovery of the ground of being for humanity. I am a myriad of notes, a plethora of instruments, a compilation of sound, understood and appreciated by all. I, like you, am here to uplift all of humankind for the rest of time. I connect and unite you all, that you may live in truth, love, joy, peace, and harmony. I am you. Isn't that neat? That is not humorous, but we're going to give our effort at it starting right now. It starts like this. I'll keep your name on my list in case I ever figure out how to improve people's lives. Conflicted, whether or not to let your brother have your slice of pie after you saw him lick it. That happened in my life. My brother was a brat. He was an older brat and a good brat, but he was a brat. My smiles cultivated my smile wrinkles. Glad I didn't frown much. I wonder what else about me is so darn transparent. I see a puddle and want to skip a stone or jump in it with both feet. I couldn't do that not long ago. I was still an adult. We were all raised breathing starry atoms of the Big Bang. We are all star kids. Star kids can accomplish anything. There can be no peace in a living room with a live bumblebee. Do you think gladiolas are happier because of their name? I can no longer watch late night movies. I suffer from HHS, heavy head syndrome. Ever wonder if those 7-Eleven hot dogs get dizzy spinning around? Phoenix has 402 really hot days every year. I lived there for a while. I'm still not over it. Stupid in the mind quickly rolls out on the tongue. I was finishing my will and I told my wife I told her I wanted to be cremated. And she promptly scheduled me for the next Tuesday. When did channel programming and breaking news become a brief interruption of commercials? I know what was in my wallet with my wife. Humor is the gorilla glue holding our sanity together. Music is the universe's gift to mankind. And then there's rap. It always seemed that the more keys on my key ring, the less money in my bank account. This is a glossary of medical terms taught to first-year medical students by fourth-year medical students. Now, I got to admit, I didn't write all these. I wrote a few of them, but I hitchhiked on a good start that I learned in medical school. An artery, study of paintings. Vein, crazy about yourself. Barium, what doctors do when treatment fails. Congenital, friendly. DNC, where the White House is. dilate to live long. Enema, not a friend. Impotent, distinguished, or well known. Medical staff, a doctor's cane. Urine, opposite of you're out. Varicose, nearby. Attending, the one who shows up. Rounds, first-year residents circling the patient. Stethoscope, a scope undetectable on radar. Oh, God. If this is too much, you can go on to the next section. This is going to be more fun for me probably than it is for you. I haven't been to every shore, but I do surf the internet. Thinking can get right square in the way of a good thought. Multitasking. Pretend to listen, smile, nod, think of something else as well as a profound response, all at the same time. You ever been guilty of that one? Oh, Lord, I have. Laziness is a valid excuse to take the breaks from my very busy day. I am at a point. You ever been there? Who would you rather invite to dinner? Wisdom, intellect, celebrity, spiritual, or kindness? She asked, which celebrity? Shake 'em up. If I had a younger twin, I could see how it would look if I had plastic surgery. What? Robin Williams found success thinking and acting outside the box. Outside the box. Outside the box. If you need to be water, be not the water that must take its shape from every container, but rather the mighty frozen water with the strength to demolish even the greatest contemporary ships. The first half of life was me learning what not to do. The second half is remembering how to do it and hide it. Just kidding, honey. If you don't laugh at yourself frequently, you don't recognize really good humor. If the bee be the truth, the stinger be the truth revealed. I don't even know what that means. Fishermen may not make the best husbands if they are addicted to that catch and release thing. The selfish, greedy man dines alone, unless he's handsome or famous or he has a really big bank account. Intelligence is knowing you sing your best in the shower. Wisdom is knowing not to wear the same attire when you sing in public. Doing the same thing expecting a different result. That trite saying itself seems to have become insanity. Don't you think? Though there may be nothing new under the sun, you should have seen what just happened in the dark. If a shower is a disruption for you, you may be too busy. That would be a stinking, thinking busybody. Oh, golly. If my hair looks okay, I'm probably having a bad body day. Wit is insolence in a tuxedo. Life is like a big bale of hay. It ain't heavy if you don't lift it. I wrote a book by that name. It's a cowboy poetry book. The law has no brain by design, but those writing and administrating it should have. I thought being a good stand-up comic was the hardest thing possible until I attempted to be a really good husband. No frog is a stranger to a leap of faith. A walk in the park with a troubled mind is no walk in the park. Oh, God. Can anyone tell me what a gift of gab is? I don't even know what a gab is. Good to take a slower friend to the woods with you in case you encounter a bear. My wife refused a rear view camera because she said she drives by feel and sound. You should see her truck. I am into exercise. Walking to the fridge is exercise. She said I looked great at 60. I didn't have the heart to tell her I was 50. I wonder if my gym membership is still good. I used to occasionally go to a local bar and order an almond daiquiri. One day, Dick, the bartender, gave me something different, and I asked, "Is this an almond daiquiri, Dick?" He said, "No, I ran out of almond. So that's a hickory daiquiri, Doc." Sorry, I couldn't help but put that one in. I thought I was foolish back then. Given the facts, happiness is rarely warranted. Youngsters struggle to be foolish, but adults succeed effortlessly. Greatness and foolishness are often the opposite sides of the same coin. Anyone who thinks there's no money in foolishness never met Robin Williams. People ask me if these thoughts are meant to be a brainwashing. I tell them no, they're intended to be more of a whole inside shower. Ever make up your own word? That should be word. These are rented lips. My tongue gets tangled up behind my eye teeth. My teeth can't see what I'm saying. Ever make up your own word? Use frug in a sentence. See how liberating that is? You got to admit, I gave you a good word. Love and sneezes. It's hard to hold either back. Duty bids us go forth and make good wine. Jolly grape. To jolly purple grape, shooting for the wine and landing in the jam is failure. But not to us jam lovers. Good jokes arise when the wit tickles the truth. Oh, to be her knight in shining amour. When they asked me to draw, I'd draw some landscape that I drew as a child. The same tree, the same simple rabbit, the same lake. Perhaps it's time for a change. I'll put the rabbit on the other side of the tree. A little nonsense is red chili on a tamale of life. I woke up at 1 a.m. and began writing. I woke up at 2 a.m. and went back to bed. True story. You learn things by trying to catch a greased pig. You can only learn by trying to catch a greased pig. The most important of which is don't. Why is opportunity so obscure at times? If I were opportunity, I'd run around naked, shouting and waving my arms. To accept the future, accept the present and the past, or get all lathered up trying to change everything. Should my love be a schizophrenic, let her malady be lovely twin sisters, vulnerability and authenticity. Solutions are like flies. Think about the problem, then turn away, and the solution will jump on your face. At times I suffer from constipation of the mind. We call it writer's block. It's not safe to take a walk without your integrity. It's dangerously tempting in the world out there. An ancient sage said, chase one rabbit at a time. I have problems figuring that out any other way. You ever try to chase two rabbits at the same time? That fella must have been either on something or onto something. Be me for a little while. I'm tired of lifting it. Okay. If difficulties are the steer, manure, opportunity are the roses. I had a beautiful young niece whose life had so much comedy and drama in it that we called her dramedy. Accurate new information is a brain bubble bath. When you crash, unplug it. If you truly believe you understand a woman, explain green. I got the appropriate stuff on today. Winter bears wisdom, not unlike a mother bear bears a 9-pound infant with a big head. My coldest winter did not quell in me the heat of my last Phoenix summer. Hippocrates said everything in excess is opposed to nature. Guess he never saw the Pacific. There is no measurement which could display my indifference for that remark. Marriage is my bear to cross. About my worry box. I write down all my worries on a slip of paper and I put them in the worry box. Once a month, I throw all the slips away. The box has had high blood pressure, a heart attack, some anxiety, and a couple of ulcers, but I'm doing really well. How are you today? Well, I feel more like I do now than I did a while ago. I don't know any more now than I did a while ago before I asked the question. That's because what you think you thought you heard is not exactly what I said I meant. Like a Ferris wheel, words can be fun. When I sleep, I want to sleep like a bear because I am a bear if I don't get my sleep. You learn things by juggling eggs that you can only learn by juggling eggs. For example, the first step in learning how to juggle eggs is cleaning up dropped eggs. Oh, I haven't done that since I was a boy. I got a pretty good scolding for that one. The biggest dumbbells at the gym just fake their workouts. The most significant weight at the gym just might be the front door. A gentleman can speak on endlessly without notes, but doesn't. Although clothes don't make the man, little influence is inspired by the naked, except maybe for Lady Godiva and the statue of David. If you don't think clothes make the man, try going into a lecture naked. I guess you wouldn't worry about what the folks thought about what you had to say. To avoid a fight, strip. No one wants to hit a naked man. People say nothing is impossible, but it's not. Try to explain that one to a friend after a toke. A good poetry button will cause your heart to race, your breath to shorten, your muscles to strain, your soul to leap, and your eyes to fill with tears. So will constipation. I told an old timer my poetry book would be a good bathroom reader. After he read the first few lines, he said, "Yep, we can use the paper." What if flutterbys were once mistakenly pronounced butterflies and it just stuck? Such a pity. Same with huff and blows, buffaloes. On relativity, I thought I was really afraid of the water until I spotted a large, great white shark headed my way. It is assumed in the female community that a wealthy man must be, naturally, in want of a good wife. The older and wealthier the man, clearly the greater and more urgent the need. Wit is when you add style and a smile to an insult. I tried to walk a mile in your shoes, but the high heel broke off on the right shoe. I just erased the saddest poem I've ever written. I didn't want it to spread. I must be a protruding nail. I keep getting hammered. Roadrunners are a relief from the mundane. Beep, beep. If I could win you with words, I'd buy a dictating machine, a dictionary, a computer, and some no-dos. My experience of you has folded infinity, causing me to experience internal and external ecstasy simultaneously, resulting in a magnificent juxtaposition of my thump pump and my thought maker, allowing a time travel into parallel confluent realities exploding into the fifth dimension, the likes of which I have never known, except maybe for that one-time mushrooms. Why are men's sorrows more humorous than one's accomplishment? Twisted us. We laugh at him falling down, not getting up. Humor, the tail's side of the nickel of truth. My reports of death are premature, surely. I'm having too much fun to be dead. Fools are not different than a calendar with no dates. If voting made a difference, it'd be prohibited. Risk it to get the biscuit. Nothing like a war to teach most Americans world geography. Humor is a blessing even to those who cannot tell a joke. At least they still think they're funny. And I asked an old Hispanic gentleman when he would finish the job. He said, "Mañana." I said, "Do you mean tomorrow?" He smiled and turned and slowly said, "No, senor. It means not today." A little learning is only dangerous at a parent-teacher conference. Will Rogers hasn't met my mother-in-law. Now, there's a man he wouldn't like. Misery loves company, but not much. There is no sound when a tree falls, and there is no one to hear it, because by definition, sound has been defined as vibrations against a tympanic membrane. That's the eardrum. I'm still working on the chicken and egg question. Smoke now, choke later. That's a gag joke. Smoke now, choke later. That's a gag joke. Every generation has to learn that the stove is hot because cellular memory DNA generational transfer is so damn slow. I want to go to bed obscure and wake up famous. I'm already halfway there. No one wants a pepper shaker partner. We don't want to have to vigorously shake the love out. One lawyer in town may go broke, whereas two do quite nicely. On relativity, red meat is not as bad for you as fuzzy green gray meat or veggie pretending to be real meat. Like biscuits, good intentions that squatted to rise but get cooked in the squat are not very palatable. This sheet has self in the middle of it. In parentheses, it says centered. This is self-centered. You gotta see it. Out beyond right and wrong, there's a better chance for a meeting of the minds, or better yet, a blending of the spirits. I'll meet you there in a jiffy. Hey, wait, I thought that was the name of a peanut butter or a lube job. Wherever you have two people together, you can have a little trouble. I have earned both my enemies and my friends. The enemies somehow seemed easier. Shakespeare said, "Thought is free." I seem to have paid dearly for some of mine. I stopped to think and got lost in the transition. My, what a moment. What? Wait a minute. What does that even mean? It's time to look magnificent on the outside and feel marvelous on the inside. Light them up with your Marv. What are the spaces between your fingers for? My fingers. What are the spaces between your toes for? I haven't had anything to drink or smoke or anything. I'm just having fun. You are my last fleeting thought at night and my first greeting thought each morning, even if I have to get up at 3 a.m. to pee. I dream of her constantly. What are you taking for it? Melatonin, Sleep Ease, Relaxium, and Advil PM. My wife told me birth is like dropping one's transmission. I never had Dr. Pepper in my nose before when I laughed that hard. Like imagination, stupidity is unlimited. Oh, if we could realign our thinking like we do our closets. Maybe that isn't such a good comparison. Into the vastness, I cast my tininess, bold and unafraid. Peekaboo Street, the famous American downhill skier, is said to have donated a great deal of money to an intensive care unit in her hometown. Rumor is they're going to call it the Peekaboo ICU. A real love story is like a giant thrilling roller coaster, or an 8 seconds on a terrifying bull, or I can't imagine what else. They all have ups and downs. All of them make you feel like you could just die, but relax. It doesn't happen very often. I looked up the definition of the word passion in the dictionary. It was a picture of you and me. I tore the page out and stuffed it in my shirt. Mr. Webster should have known better. Do you know why he wrote the dictionary? His wife kept asking, "What do you mean by that?" The difference between truth and wisdom. The truth is that a tomato is really a fruit, not a vegetable. Wisdom is knowing not to put one in a fruit salad. I've told someone these writings just naturally flow to me, into me, through me, and she said, "So are you a large intestine?" It's hard to fool naivete. To be a great writer, one must learn to sit at the computer and regurgitate life extemporaneously through one's fingertips. You must be willing to die in order to fly. Applies to hang gliders, skydiving, motorcycles, bulls, broncs, war, business relationships, parenthood, self-esteem, blondes, brunettes, redheads, and even those with green and purple hair. Kindness, courtesy, consistency, and respect work with a work staff as well as they do with your dog. If smoking were good for us, the sky would be yellowish, greenish, grayish, brown. Pleasure is occasionally a sin, but sin is frequently a pleasure. Wit is when you add style and a smile to an insult. Ever wonder why a good example's so darn hard to stomach? Me too. Plagiarism is simply a lie. I wonder if that has ever been said before, anywhere, by anyone. If so, well, maybe all plagiarism isn't a lie. If it's an accident, maybe. Oh, if I could just write all of the funny things I think. It's time to go feed and water the horses. I appreciate you being with us today. I appreciate your patience in particular for today. I promise you this will be the last ridiculous thing I put on the air. Unless it isn't. Hey, I hope you have a great day. This is Dr. Ted up on the Crystal Star Ranch. I'm so glad you joined us. And hey, if anybody out there hasn't told you that they love you today, I love you today. Have a great day. We'll catch you on the bounce around. Until then, happy trails.